Greetings, my lovelies. Hi, it's Emmy. Welcome back to another Emmy Eats. Today I'll be eating Israel. So if you've missed my previous Israel installments, I shall put the links as always down below. So this lovely package was sent to me by Mr. M. Mr. M, thanks so much for sending me this beautiful package of Israeli treats. I'm excited to finally taste it. For those of you that are celebrating it, happy Hanukkah! Alright, let's go ahead and start eating. Okay, so I will eat them in the order in which Mr. M sent them to me. So let's begin with this treat. And this is in Hebrew, so I can't read it. But Mr. M says it's called Egozi. So Mr. M says it's one of Israeli's first chocolate bars with whole hazelnut and a layer of chocolate. Here's the bar. It looks beautiful. And let's snap it. Oh, looks like it has nougat or something inside. Looks great. Yeah, it smells like a Milky Way bar. All right, let's give it a taste. Itadakimasu. Gosh, that's good. It has a really lovely hazelnut flavor in there. Whole hazelnuts that are crunchy and nutty, but then surrounding that is some really fluffy nougat. And on the outside, you have a nice layer of milk chocolate that kind of holds everything together. Next, we have this. And again, it is in Hebrew. And so Mr. M calls this twist. Oh, it looks like a wafer bar. Snap it. And indeed, there's wafer, but it doesn't look like there's any chocolate in between the layers. So let's give that a taste. Oh! A bit of a softer crunch for a wafer bar, and tastes a little bit more caramelized than some of the other wafers I've had. And the chocolate coating is very, very thin and light, and almost imperceptible. You don't really taste the chocolate so much as this kind of more of a sweet caramelized flavor. And of course you have that wafer flavor as well, which tastes to me a lot like an ice cream cone. Not bad, not bad. And speaking of wafer bars, we have this. A giant box of wafers. These are called black and white Waflot. And these are chocolate covered wafers with a French vanilla cream filling. Twist. Wow, look at this. Oh, how cute. Look at that packaging. There's a little wafer man in there. So there they are. Cocoa wafer with a vanilla filling. It smells like breakfast cereal. And it really does remind me of breakfast cereal. A bit like Frosted Flakes meets Cocoa Crispies. Has a really great crunch. I think this would go really well with a glass of milk. Next we have this. And Mr. M says this is Reva Lasheva. They remind me a little bit of Tim Tam, superficially, but I think just the way they're packaged. All right, let's see what's inside. Oh, look at that. So it's like a really thin layered wafer with some filling inside. What a delightful texture. The inside is wafer, but it's very, very thin. It reminds me of some of those kind of egg roll cigar snacks that you can find in Asia. They're really thin and wafery and just kind of crumble and crunch as you bite them. It's very thin like that, similar flavor, but this is all wrapped in chocolate, and in the inside you have a hazelnut cream filling. Nice. And this is Beasley, but this is grilled flavor, which apparently is the most popular. This was invented in the 1970s, made by the company Olsen. Oh my god, it looks just like fusilli pasta. And I guess it was rumored that someone accidentally fried it, and that's how this snack was invented. It smells a little bit cheesy, definitely savory. All right, let's give that a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. That's great. Very, very crunchy, as you heard. And it does remind me a lot of kind of dried pasta. Not quite as rigid and hard, but still very crunchy and covered with a really tasty coating. I was curious to see what grill flavor tastes like, but it tastes really smoky. Very similar to a barbecue flavor that we'd find here in the States. A little less spicy, but more about smoky and savory. Delicious. Really great crunchy snack. So I've had Click before, but I'd never had this one, and this is Click Biscuit. Look how beautiful they are. They're like almost chocolate covered almonds. And that's great. It reminds me a little bit of like a malt ball, but instead of malt in the middle, you have a little biscuit cookie in the middle. You have a coating of chocolate and then white chocolate. It tastes a lot like chocolate milk to me, and I suspect that this is a compound chocolate. Really great biscuity crunch in the middle though. And this is called Eggo or Ego. And these look like chocolate covered pretzels. There they are. And they look like just like the chocolate covered pretzels that we have here in the US. Pretzels with chocolate. All right, here we go. Mmm, great crunch and that familiar pretzel flavor with just a really light coating of milk chocolate. Delicious. Okay, so the next item I have is this. And this is a tin of tuna. So here it is right here. And this is a spicy tuna that has tomatoes and vegetables in it. Wow, there it is. And it smells like tomatoes. I'm just gonna have some on a cracker here. Oh, look at that. So in the States we have tuna fish, but it usually comes kind of packed. This looks more like a spread. So let's give that a taste. It smells tinned and smells a bit like vegetable soup. Not very fishy at all. Itadakimasu. Now I can definitely taste the tuna. It has a little bit of acidity, and I think there might be some lemon in there. And yeah, I do taste the tomatoes as well. It tastes a bit like vegetable soup. Good. It goes well with the crackers, but I think it would go really well on a crusty piece of bread, or maybe on a piece of warmed pita. So Mr. M in his package included this. And this is a package of Israeli couscous, also known as chicken. But as you can see, it exploded en route, so I won't be able to eat it. But I love this stuff. I make a really great salad with it. And next we have this. This is a tin that Mr. M sent me. I can't believe you sent it, and it says Cholent. Mr. M said it's pronounced Cholent, and it's a traditional Jewish stew, and it's cooked overnight for 12 hours or more, eaten for lunch on Shabbat. There it is. There's some big beans in there. I see some barley, and I think some crumbled meat pieces. So let's give that a taste. Really nice texture. The beans are really, really soft and buttery and smooth. And I like the little chew of the barley. It has a very interesting flavor to it though. I'm trying to pinpoint what that seasoning is. It's some kind of spice. It almost has like a resinous flavor to it. Not quite familiar with what it is. It tastes a little bit licoricey and a little bit, yeah, like mastic or something. It doesn't say what the spices are. But yeah, very interesting flavor. It's good. Very hearty and warm. And quite similar to something like a cassoulet or something because of the amount of beans. But the flavor is completely different, and I can't quite pinpoint what that flavor is. Israeli friends, do tell me what the spices are in that. It tastes a little bit like cumin, but a little bit more lemony and resinous. All right, so that wraps up this little Israeli edition of Emmy Eats. Thank you again, Mr. M, for sending me this package, and happy Hanukkah to you. So let me know in the comments below how you'll be celebrating the holidays. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys learned something. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I shall see you in my next video. Toodaloo, take care, bye. My understanding is that this is for people that aren't interested in really eating food, and they just want something that provides them nourishment.